Hello and welcome everyone to Photoshop Senior Edition. Today I'm going to do a back screening effect, and this is especially important if you like to fix images to go on Facebook. If you've got an image and you want to put some text on it, a lot of times people will do that, and you'll see that it might be a little bit hard to read the way they've got it set up. For instance, if I just click on some text here, I'll click on the text tool, and we'll just say I'm going to put the text right in this box. So you just click and drag out an area that you want it in. And I already actually have put this image on my Facebook page, and it has this text in it. If it walks like a duck, it should say, and it quacks like a duck. So we'll make this a little bit smaller, and to select all the text I can double click right on the T, and let's just make this text a little bit smaller. So if I go up here to where the double T is up here at the top, this is actually a way to drag, as you can see in the image. You can drag left to make the text smaller, drag right to make it larger, or you can type in amount or go to the drop down and guesstimate what size fits. I just find it very easy to drag this kind of a fuzzy slider here to see what we get in real time. And then you can just click on the checkbox up here at the top, or you can go over here and click on the move tool, and then you can move the text around wherever you want it. Now, obviously, you can probably make out the words here, especially in the lighter area, but that's not the ideal way to do things. If the text is important, certainly if it's important enough to be in an image, then you want it to be easily read. So the trick is to turn this into a back screen, so to speak. And to do that, let's just turn the text eyeball off for now. We'll go back to the original layer, and we need to make an exact copy of this layer. So I'm going to do a Control J, that would be a Command J on a Mac. So now we have two copies of the same thing. And I'm just going to click here, and I can double click on the words background copy and put back screening, and then click somewhere else. And now what I need to do is turn this into a very light image. So I'm just going to hold down my Control key, Command key on a Mac, and press the letter L. That brings up levels. Move this over. And then on the output levels, you can just drag this little icon, or this caret, I call it, arrowhead, as far as you want to the right. We want to still be able to see what's back there, but we want the text to be able to jump up on the page or jump out. So you can control how light that gets. I'm going to say something in there is just fine, and click OK. So now you see the lighter version and the darker version. Now if I turn the text back on, you'll see how easy that is to read. And I can even click here and go down to the little FX, which I call Special Effects, and click on Drop Shadow. Move this out of the way because you see our drop shadow is rather harsh. So we can drag the size back over and the distance way back over. And then you can kind of fine tune it because you want it to really pop out there, and maybe the opacity down just a little bit. Click OK once you're done, and we can turn that eyeball off and on so you can see the difference that it does make. Now you can still see the ducks are there, but it's not quite as effective as if you go down here to the screened layer. Make it active by clicking on it. You need to be able to see the brackets around it, and click on this little square donut down here. This is the mask. So we create this little mask, goes right there. Go over here and turn on a paintbrush, and we need a big brush, so just go over here, look at the size on the screen, make it bigger accordingly. We need a big brush, maybe even a little bit bigger than that. And let's change this to 100%. So if your opacity is low, you will have to do just that much more painting to get the same effect, but 100% works very nicely. So make sure black is on top. If you don't have these default colors, just press the letter D on your keyboard. So let me show you real quick. If we had this color and so forth, and you want to get to the default colors, you just press the letter D. It will go back to black and white, and then you need black on top, so you can press the letter X, and the letter X will toggle those back and forth. Now we can just paint. Make sure the brackets are around. This is your mask, and we can just paint, and this is letting the lower layer show through. I'm going to click here once, go over here and shift click. Go here. So you can take that down as far as you want to. If you want to undo any of that, you can press the letter X, which will put white on top, and you're painting that white back in. Okay, so X again to get to the black, and just kind of fade that line a little bit. And you can even fine tune it more by dropping the opacity of the brush and then painting over it. You see it goes away a little bit at a time. So now if this gets posted, you're going to really, you can see the ducks very nicely, and you can see the text very easily as well, so it's easy to save. Now if you're saving it to email to somebody or to put it on Facebook, here's what you would do. You go up and make sure your image is nice and small, and this one is already very small. Go to image size, make sure the resolution is 72. Always change that first. Don't change any of the other dimensions before you change resolution. Change that first, and then I usually go with pixels, because on the internet, to have a nice full-size picture, it's normally, if it's a horizontal, 640 is kind of an ideal size. Don't worry about the height. If this were a vertical image, I find that 450 works perfectly for tall images versus the horizontal images, which are flat. So 640 on this one, and click OK. So it got a little smaller visually, but it's still going to be a nice size image. All right, so then finally, to save it for the web or Facebook or email, you would go to File and go down to Export, File, Export, and then where it says Save for Web. I usually use the shortcut key, Alt-Shift-Control-S, and then it brings up a very large dialog, but that's okay. You can have it on 2-up or 4-up. It's up to you. Here's the optimized image. And then I usually look at these numbers. They're very important. It shows you the download speed. If I want to see what it would be on a 1 megabit cable, it's 25K, and it would only take 1 second for them to download. And I can change the quality based on this slider. So now it's all the way up to 81K, which is still relatively small, and the quality is well over half of the slider, so it's going to maintain a pretty good quality. But what we can do is turn on the magnifying glass, the zoom tool, press the letter Z, and make this bigger so you can watch the details. Now I'm holding down this space bar in order to move that around and look at the details. So still the details are looking pretty good. Let's see if I can go down some more. Let's see if I go down to here, you can see the actual pixels, the squares that are there. So you just adjust until that looks pretty good. It's a 57K image, which is pretty doggone small, and it would only take 1 second at 1 megabit to download or upload. So at this point we can go down and say save, and then we give it a name and put it wherever we want, just like any other file. So hopefully that shows you what you need to do to get this okay. And I want to call your attention to one other thing while we're on this particular screen. Don't use progressive. This is one of those, if you save it as a progressive file, this is like one of those images if you go to the internet and it starts out really bad looking and it gets better, and then it's good. So it's a larger file, and you don't want that. Just click on optimized and you'll be just fine. Make sure it's JPEG. You don't want a GIF or PNG or any of that unless you have a specific reason you want to keep it on JPEG. So hopefully that helps. This would then just very easily go on to your Facebook page, and so now you can see where I posted it on my Facebook page. I did this quick little screen capture, and just to show you how it looks once posted, and if it's clicked on, it turns into a great big picture like this, and it still looks fine, as you can see. So hopefully this was of use to you as you think about things that you want to share in the email or on Facebook. You just need to make a copy of the image. That's the place to start anyway. And once you do that, you'll go to levels, and levels allows you to quickly brighten everything on the image, and then you've got underneath that you've got your original. So we mask that out, as you see here. Here's the mask that's covering that, and if I want to paint with white, I can bring back that white that's in that image, and I can do it faster again if I have that on 100%. So we can quickly fill it in or paint it back out. That's the beauty of using masks in an image, but we address masking in other places in other tutorials, but I thought this would be a good place to show this off. Same thing would work if you wanted to use black. So you can see I've made an exact copy of the layer. Once again, I'm going to turn that text off so it's not in our way. But some images, instead of having white, having black as your background is going to work a little bit better. So let's just click on this layer, make sure it's highlighted, go to Control L again to bring up levels. This time we'll drag from the opposite side to make the image pretty dark. Let's say right in there. And then we can put the text at the top if we want to. Now right now it's in black, obviously. We'll click on that layer so we can move it up. Hold down the Shift key and it will keep it lined up. Then we can double click on that T right here, which selects the text. Go up here. This is going to be the color of the font. Change that to white. And we can click this checkbox, or we can click the Move tool. And then once again, we can go down here to the image, click on the little mask, and we will paint with a brush. Press the letter B, and we can then, we don't really want to have this mask on the text, so I'm going to undo that, Control-Alt-Z, get back down here and put the mask where it belongs on the background. So a little square donut. And now we can paint, and we can move that, the black area wherever we want. We can bring the text down low. Turn on the move tool again with V. Hold down the shift key so it will line back up. And let's go back down here where this mask is. Turn on the brush again. And this time we will paint over that and then switch to white and bring that back up. So you can have it on any part you want to. Let's get rid of some of that and press X again to kind of clean that up. And you see how easy it is to make those areas where we can have type in there that really jumps out and gets our message across fairly quickly. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you're so inclined, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.